All right, good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, January 5th, 2022, and we're going to get started here with our pre-market analysis on the S&P 500 futures market. So let's take a look at what happened here yesterday. Remember, we came in and we were basically looking at this, right? So we were starting to kind of launch out of the lows from Monday, push through the highs of Monday, and start to push through the highs from the week before and start to get into some new all-time high territory. And we did have some decent bullish arguments. So we were expecting some type of breakout to the upside. Of course, we said that there's a possibility they could pull back a little bit before the bounce actually happens. Again, another scenario was that they were just going to just trek right out, right? So I think that's what we bet on out of the open, and we got a long out of the open, but then the whole thing just kind of petered out there at 08, and then, we got the pullback. And you can see we actually got a healthy retracement. In fact, that was a really nice, just about 61.8, just if I was to eyeball it, just below the 61.8, and that is that 75%er that we've kind of talked about for a while last year. And so right through the 61 into the 75 bounce out, and now we're still essentially stuck inside of yesterday and Monday's range. So if we zoom out and we look at what's happened here for the last week and a half, we've got the push, right? Pretty nice bullish push, and now we've got the consolidation going on. So for the last maybe week, we've essentially had the same argument each morning. So let's take a look and see if the high time frames have anything to add to the picture this morning. Again, we're not going to spend too much time up here, but that 3-month looking nice and strong, right? The monthly also looking nice and strong. Of course, we do have potential bearish patterns up at the highs, but we have bullish continuation patterns off the lows. So we're still kind of relying on those continuation patterns. Same thing on the weekly, looking really strong. And same thing on the daily. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, up top, we do have the weekly and the monthly showing a potential bearish signal up top. And as you can see from this daily perspective, we're now kind of got a lot of indecisive bars up here. A lot of trouble yesterday, very indecisive looking bar there yesterday. So things definitely look like there's a little bit of a hiccup, right? They're having trouble continuing to push, and we're getting a lot of bearish clues off the highs. But again, the thing is on the pullbacks, we get a nice high time frame bullish signal, and then we get this pop. So we'll see again who's going to win out here up in this range. Now the daily does have that bullish divergence from the lows. So if we zoom back out to this leg here and take a look at it, oh, hey there. We go back here to this low right here from 47.50. That's the low that we're seeing here on the daily, where we got this nice bullish divergence down here off 47.50 or 47.25. So we got the follow through back. I mean, we talked about the potential bullish signals on there's New Year's Eve and then on Monday. And we did get the follow through. We got that 47.45 all the way up to, so basically like a 50-60 point push to new all-time highs from there, and now we're still petering out, right? So we'll see again who's going to win out here. Potential bearish divergence off of yesterday's high on the daily. Let's go down now and take a look at the 4-hour. What's interesting here is the 4-hour doesn't agree with the daily bearish signal from yesterday's high. In fact, the 4-hour really doesn't give us any type of bearish clue up there. Even from a candlestick perspective, if you look at this, whoopsies, let's get that back there. If you look at it from a candlestick perspective going into the morning there on January 4th, strong, 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 strong. There's the candle that closed at 7 a.m. Nice little push down, closed at the highs of that bar. So it looked pretty bullish there, and then we got the sell-off, right? So the 4-hour didn't really have much of an indication there. But we do have a decent bullish signal off the overnight low on the 4-hour, right? So that's a level that, assuming we get a confluence of bullish signals from down there, that's going to be an important level to watch this morning as our kind of line in the sand or dividing line for the bulls. Looking at the 60-minute here, again, going down to that low around 46, 47, 50 area, getting the bounce out with a nice bullish divergence. Bearish off the highs from yesterday, which is agreeing with the daily. And then on the pullback in the overnight lows, we've got the agreement with the 4-hour on that bullish signal from the 60-minute time frame here. So again, because we're in this sideways chop, we're going to have pretty good arguments on either side here. And we can see if we have a little bit more weight one way or the other, but it seems like this morning it's really, really scattered here. So let's take a look at the intermediate time frames. They're probably not going to clear anything up, but we can start to look at our conditions for bullish and bearish, right? We can start to look at where we are in relation to the previous daily high, low, 50% of the day, and then that 4-hour candle that we watch at 80.50, right? So right now you can see in the overnight session, we pulled back from yesterday's high, came down, made lows right around the lows from yesterday, and now we're finding trouble at 50% of the previous day, right? So not being able to get through that is a bearish clue, right? And so right now we'll see coming into the open, are the bulls going to continue in this potential push that we're seeing right now to come up and get some type of trend going to new all-time highs? Or are they going to have trouble here, or maybe even have trouble right off the back end there at 92.25 and pull back deeper? Again, this morning, and just like it's been for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mornings, we're stuck in a range. And the argument can go either way here. So rather than putting a lot of weight one way or the other, especially because we're literally right at 50% of the range for the last week and a half, we're going to have to wait and see who wins out here, who starts to jump in, and then we'll go look for some good signals off of some of the good levels that we have on the chart. The 10-minute, not really going to add anything to the picture. We do have, again, some bullish divergences down around the lows of the overnight session, and then the highs of the overnight have the bearish argument. And again, just zooming out here, you can see that we're basically right in the middle of the range for the last week and a half, right? So we'll see who wins out here. Again, staying below 86, a bearish clue. Staying below 80, even more of a bearish clue. Getting below the previous daily low, now we're, all hats are on the bearish side. So we'll see if that happens. And then if we do get some type of strong bullish momentum here, we can jump in on a pullback and see if we get that push to new all-time highs. Again, keep in mind, keep it at the back of your mind that we do have a lot of the high time frames showing potential bearishness up at the highs. And we do, again, this is just something you've seen in the S&P. The market just goes and goes and continues to rip higher. If we just zoom out and look at the 3-month, if we look at the yearly, I mean, the S&P just keeps going, right? And every time we get a bearish little clue, it does get some type of minor pullback or something, but the bulls keep going. So it's the same exact story this morning. I kind of get tired of saying it, but it just is what it is. We push and push and push. We get bearish signals. There's a huge confluence, but somehow the bulls just jump back in. So just keep it in mind. Anything's possible. It very well could just have some type of major sell-off. And if that starts to occur, we have our lines in the sand to orient ourselves. And then we have all of the levels that we're going to talk about in our member section here below us that we'll talk about today, looking for those major areas. And they basically haven't changed because we haven't pulled back. So one thing I will leave off here is that yesterday, our first area of interest was down there at 46.50 to 47.50, and the low of the day as they sold off yesterday, on the second, I believe on Monday, it came down and it held right off that level. And so that's the only level we've really tested. But once we get a little bit deeper, we've got somewhere around 41. We've got this little zone around 30.29, and then a little bit deeper, some other levels. So we're going to discuss that with our members and look for some potential trades on the shorter time frames here coming into the open, and we're just going to have to wait and see what the market does here and react. We don't have a clear picture for the bulls, like a larger argument for the bulls or the bears this morning. So I will leave that for anybody watching out on the internet, and we're going to jump down into the members section now. Take care.